Hey folks, Todd Martin here, your local Louisville real estate broker. 2019 and our first live Facebook back in the new age. Holy cow, how exciting was 2018, or how crazy was 2018? And how exciting is 2019? 2019 is going to be one heck of a year. Of course, we're starting off very, very exciting with a government shutdown. Woohoo! And today, I just want to kind of talk a little bit about how the government shutdown is actually affecting the real estate market. So we've had some questions, we've had some concerns. I've had some personal deals that have been affected by the shutdown, and of course, yes, yours truly has been affected by the shutdown. Now, I'm here with the lovely Gabby as always, and she is helping me with this broadcast here. And so, Gabby, if you have some questions, let me know what you got. Let's dive into this thing today.
Yeah, so my first question is, with this shutdown, how is the time frame of buying a house affected?
Okay, so do you mean time frame of the season, or do you mean as far as number of the days on contract?
So number of the days on contract.
Okay, great, good question. Most contracts, when we put in contracts, we usually try to put in there a very specific date sometimes, or we put in a window, say, 25 to 40 days, as an example, to close a contract from the beginning, the acceptance phase, through the inspections, through the negotiations, and through the financing contingencies. Well, we've got a couple of issues where certain loans are being affected at time frames. And one of the biggest things that we're running into right now that we see affecting the time frame is our 4506T. Now, I know everybody knows what a 4506T is. I'm just kidding. I barely know what a 4506T is. But what a 4506T is that is a record from the IRS that certifies what your taxes actually were. So when you apply for a loan, it doesn't matter if it's a conventional or an FHA or a VA. Most of the underwriters in the banks want a certified copy of your tax return. And in order to do that, you have to get the 4506T. Well, with the current government shutdown, what's happening is there's nobody there to process these requests to send certified copies. Now, you could take a copy of your tax return into your loan officer, but unfortunately, they can go off of those numbers, but the underwriters, the ones that say yay or nay, are going to need the certified copy directly from the IRS. So we're seeing a time lag in that, and we've already seen closings that have been pushed back because we can't get verification of funds. Here's something that's a bit interesting that I found out that I didn't understand with regards to the shutdown, is that there are over 400,000 federal employees right now that are either on furlough or are not being paid at all. In other words, they were just told not to come into work. So, most of those government employees, they're affecting everything from our national park system to TSAs, to the government entities, to Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. So we've got a lot that it's affecting. And again, all of those things, believe it or not, come back around and they affect us as individuals. So, trying to do this in the housing market is a little bit intense right now. Now, here's the thing with the government shutdown and affecting the housing market in the time frames. Let's just say that this shutdown opens up this week, right? And there's no more government shutdown and everything's taken care of. Well, we've had such a backlog of requests going in for the verification. Of course, everybody knows now your 4506T, the verification of taxes. That what we're seeing is what was supposed to close in 25 days now has been pushed out an additional 2 weeks. So now we're looking at 35, 40 days to close that 25-day loan. If it were to end today, because of the backlog, things are still continuing to pile up. Just as an example, one of the loans, or everybody, I think most people have heard of the term of a HUD home, which is a government-owned property. In other words, it's been taken back by the bank. Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac, Jenny Mac, they had the loan for the property. It was a government-backed loan, and the person defaulted on the mortgage. So now the government is trying to sell those assets. Well, here's the thing: as a broker, we are supposed to have a what's called an NAID number, or as HUD likes to call it, the NAD. So on our NAID number, you have to apply for those numbers, and sometimes you have to refresh those numbers if our licenses come up for renewal. Well, I did this almost 3 weeks ago to start that process for the renewal. And unfortunately, with the government shutdown, they are not processing any of the requests to become or to renew your license as a government, not a government provider, but a government, a representative of an individual purchasing a government home. So that means we as realtors can't offer a service to our clients that we normally could if they wanted to buy a HUD home. So again, that's a personal story that has affected me. Of course, there's some workarounds around that, but after getting a hold of HUD, they're on a very skeleton crew as well. But again, not processing those types of things. So if you're looking at putting in an offer on a property, or even if you're a seller, okay, because this affects both the buying and the selling side. And if you think about it too, what's happening is if you have a domino effect like we normally do, somebody is, first-time home buyer is buying a new house, a starter home. That person on the starter home is maybe moving up to a mid-sized home. And those people in the mid-sized home might be downsizing to something smaller as they move on, or up to something larger. So that can be affected all in the chain. So you've got to take that into consideration. So again, keep in mind that time frames are definitely being affected, and it doesn't matter if it's a government-backed loan or if it's a conventional loan, because we all follow under the same processes. The only thing that's going to get through in a guaranteed timely manner is cash. So this might actually be a time in history where a cash buyer could be much stronger than somebody that is wanting to finance. So if you are, say for an example, an investor, or you've saved up quite a bit and you want to offer cash, with as crazy as 2018 was, with multiple offers and different financing contingencies, you could come in with cash and you might have one heck of a deal on your hands. So again, I know not everybody has hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around, or even $15,000, $20,000, or $30,000 laying around to purchase a property or purchase an investment property. But again, the only thing that's going to be guaranteed on time would be a cash purchase, because there's none of the verification that needs to go into that. So Gabby, did that kind of answer your question a little bit there?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Well, what else do you have for me? What else can I answer today?
So you kind of talked about it a little bit, but what are some of the loans, aside from the one that you talked about, that are being affected, and how are they being affected?
Okay. So just to recap, all loans are being affected by receiving certified tax numbers from the previous year or the previous 2 years. Okay, but we've got some government-backed loans, such as your FHA, which a lot of first-time home buyers use. Your VA mortgages, which are great for our veterans. Okay, those no money down deals, that again, government-backed. And the third type of loan, which a lot of people don't know about, but there's a loan out there called USDA, which is a government-backed entity, and it's 100% no money down deal as well. Now, it falls a lot into some rural areas. So here in Louisville, we would look on outside of Jefferson County for a USDA loan. So those USDA loans are not even being looked at right now. That entire government department has been shut down. So that doesn't mean that you can't start the process. What that means is that we're just holding. Now, I was looking at something on the news the other day on one of the news channels, and I believe that the president had said that the shutdown could last or it could be over as soon as, this month, or it could actually extend for an entire year. And if that's the case, then we've got a lot more to worry about than buying and selling homes. So again, you've got to keep that in mind with the way that those loans are being checked. So, if you think about it as well, think about there are a lot of there's a lot of government entities that we take for granted on a daily basis. Flying, for example, is a TSA, right? So some of those workers aren't even showing up now because they're not getting paid. So again, think about safety and security, right? We've got our national parks. Our national parks are shut down. And again, here's the thing: a government shutdown is nothing new. A government shutdown has happened before, and we've gotten through it. But we're coming on the cusp of having a government shutdown for the longest that we've ever had, and we're not exactly sure what's going to happen and what direction it is. So if you've had something and you're closing now, you kind of avoided the stickiness point of it. But if you're going specifically with a government-backed loan, with a VA mortgage, with an FHA mortgage, or specifically with a USDA mortgage, those are things that can't even be processed at this point. Now, the VA and the FHA, I do know some cases that are still being what we call underwritten. In other words, we're able to get the money for the client in order to purchase the house, but it's taking a little bit longer to do so. But those particular types of loans are definitely, are definitely parts of having an issue. One of the other things that I forgot is if, let's say, for example, let's say you are a government employee, okay, and you are purchasing a house. Now, it doesn't matter if, you could be a military government employee, you could be a civilian government employee, you could work for, you work for the park system, you could work for TSA. And one of the things, again, keep this in mind, there's a lot of hands that touch a loan, but one of the things is that the loan company, whoever you choose, has to verify your employment, okay, or what they call VOE, verification of employment. And for government entities that are on furlough or shutdown, there's no way to verify that, Mr. or Miss Buyer has been at their current position for 2 years. So, we've got, again, a bit of a conundrum there because we can't check a simple fact such as employment, which, again, if you can't check employment, you can't qualify for the loan. So a lot of these things are intertwined and go hand in hand. But, what I'm saying is this is not to scare people. This is just to say that we will get through this, but there are going to be some hiccups. And this is a case in point where everybody's going to have to work together in order to move the process along. Now, understand, things can get frustrating and people get upset. And one of the biggest purchases or one of the biggest sales that you'll ever do is your own personal property. And, as agents, our job is to help and to point out the facts. And I do understand, being a homeowner myself, how emotional a time can be. Because real estate, again, is more about life than it is about buying and selling property. Unless you're just an investor and you're just looking to invest and you don't really care about the whole scenario. But that's not the majority of us. The majority of us are homeowners. The majority of us have families. The majority of us want to have a place to hang our hat. Majority of us want a piece of the American dream. And right now, what's happening is we are having to sacrifice time and attention in order to do that. So I guess kind of the moral of this conversation or the moral of this topic is, just to be patient, okay? Talk to your lender, talk to your agent, kind of understand what they understand. It's not one of those things where we have to, keep up on the news every day, but I can tell you this, that as a professional broker, professional realtor for 15 years, that, we're kind of keeping our finger on the cusp. Push it down there, right? Push it down, give it a thumbs up. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we are informed, that our clients are informed, and that the public is informed. So, again, I'm sorry, Gabby, that was kind of a long way to answer your question. But most government-backed loans are the loans that are being affected the most. And again, anybody that's a government employee, we're having a hard time getting a verification of employment. So hopefully that makes sense. Do you have any other questions? Can you think of anything else?
Um, well, my last one is just kind of you talked about the IRS at the beginning.
Right.
What is the take on taxes right now?
No. Oh, and you bring up another good point. So being the first of the year, we talk to a lot of people who say, well, when my tax refund comes in, I'm due $4,000, $7,000, $8,000, I'm going to have that money for down payment. Well, we don't know what the implication is at this point. We're not sure what's going to happen with regards to the taxes and tax time. So if you were planning on, getting your tax return and purchasing a home, and that's something that you've been thinking about since last year, and looking at what your return would be, again, there may be a delay in time. Normally you file your taxes and you can get your tax return within, a couple of weeks, typically. So it's usually not a big deal. But we may be looking at a delay again as everything gets built up. So instead of looking at your taxes coming in 2 weeks, it might be 4 weeks, it might be 6 weeks, it might be 3 months down the road. So again, kind of a delay in the process. Again, just understand that everybody in this industry is trying to work together to make sure that we can kind of come up with some solutions, and help our clients, move forward in the purchase and the selling of their properties. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, that was my last question. As always, I thank you for your time.
All right. Well, Gabby, hey, and appreciate you helping me out with these. And again, we do these every Tuesday. We do these Talks with Todd's Tuesday at 12. If you come up with a better name, let me know. I'd love to put it out there. But always, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to type them below, jump in on the chat. We'd love to get some interaction going. Kind of see if you have questions, and if I don't know the answer, I know somebody who does, and we'll find it out. But feel free to reach out. You can always reach out to me via email, toddmartin@realtor.com, or feel free to call me directly at 502-220-4663, or think of it as 502-220-HOME, HOME. So just give me a call. We're happy to answer any questions that you have. We appreciate you stopping by and taking a look at this. And we hope to speak with you soon. Have a great and a happy new year, and we look forward to talking to you in 2019.